My friend, today we're going to talk about bar chords, not B-A-R, but B-A-R-R-E. These bar chords take any first position chord and push them up and down the fretboard. Doesn't matter if you're on an instrument with a fretboard, fingerboard, individual frettings, whether it's tuned in fourths, fifths, thirds, whether it's in perfect octaves, whether it's in a alternate tuning. Anytime you functionally move from one point of any distance to any point of any other fixed distance, you're altering the tone. The inflection goes up or sharpens. It augments. So one of the things that we want to talk about is how to make a bar chord. The best way that I teach my students how to play is this. Forget everything you think you know and start with these two basic ideas. If we strengthen each and every finger by playing something called a caterpillar, or I call them spider exercises. When I've got little ones, I'm like, and then they do that with their fingers. They're like, how do you do that? And I have to explain the whole hands and this and motor skills, and it's great. So when we do something along this line, we are looking to do all individual downstrokes over here. What this method does, it gets us used to the distances between strings. So if you did nothing else for 2 or 3 days, and do different variations of like 6 6 6 5 5 5 6 5 4 6 5 4 5 5 5 4 4 4 5 3 5 3 4 4 3 3 3. You start to get really good at picking different patterns. Also try upstrokes and try alternating, which is down up, and then try economical up down. Or down, down, up, dare I say. But that's for another video. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a chord that you know and love. How about the D major? D major on a guitar looks like a G major on a uke. It also kind of looks like a couple different chords on a banjo and on a mandolin. So it doesn't matter what you're tuned in. These shapes have reoccurring themes. When playing this chord, we have an open D. We're gonna try to avoid the E and the A, but you will see why that's important in a second. And then when we play our open D, it goes to another note. It is the A, and then we have a D, and then an F sharp. These 3 notes are the 3 notes of the triad, onto which, no matter where you play this shape on this instrument, it makes a D major. They're called inversions at a certain point because you might influence the chord with a different root note, but that just means that those 3 notes are in a different place. Even though we might move them in some different location like this, it just alters them. So once playing a D major, just like these spider exercises get your fingers strong, they allow you to express yourself later with scales. So playing chords like a D major, if we take off a first finger, put a second finger where the first finger was, take this finger and put it where that second finger was, and then bring the pinky on, effectively, we have the same chord, the D major. It might take a little minute to even get it to this speed right here, but what happens in the beginning with this exercise is your fingers layer, and then when you move faster, according to note duration, it changes the amount of time that your fingers do. You are brilliant. You right there watching this video, you, subscribe, are brilliant. The reason why, your brain's a computer. All you need to do is condition it to think a certain way. Once you do, the whole concept of practicing doesn't become practicing. It becomes fun. It's like muscle memory. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play this D major. We're gonna turn it into this by layering fingers, and we're gonna do it in rhythm. So we're playing 4 quarters. Play this one, rest, rest, rest. Play the 1, rest the 2, rest the 3, rest the 4. Because we're doing downstroke, we are expressing ourselves with quarter notes. When we have a D major, place a finger, place a finger, place a finger. D major, place a finger, place a finger, place a finger. D major, place a finger every day for 5 minutes. When you go to half notes and they're on 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll notice that your fingers won't be like layering, because you're going to be concentrating on doing the rhythm. You're just going to automatically do this, and you're going to eventually have perfect rhythm, because that's what this sets you up for. I call these teeter-totters. Between spideys and teeter-totters, it's the foundation to do this. Let's take another chord like the E major. We've got an open E, we have a B, E, G sharp, open B, and open E. When doing this, we play our E major like this. Well, if we take off a finger, move it over, put it on, we get effectively the same chord. What I would like you to do to strengthen bar chords is to play the first chord, play the second chord, move it up a half step and bar chord. If you don't get all the chords, don't worry, you will eventually. First chord, second chord, third chord. First chord, second chord, third chord. First chord, second chord, third chord. First position E, first position, second fingering, F major. The bane of bar chords. They're hard, but in the beginning, if you're struggling a lot and you got larger hands, check out this F major. Keep the A shape, wrap your finger around to get the F, play the top note. You still get an F major. It's good enough to surpass. I mean, you're gonna need to do some finagling to get the right notes to play and not other ones to go, but if you wanna move up just this chord, this is a great way to play. A little strenuous on your knuckles. It hurts your carpal tunnel here if you got one, and then the tendon that goes over the top that controls both your G1 and your G2. But the whole idea behind this is to expand upon what you're doing. And then you can also take this F major and just play the top two notes, the 1 and 2 string, the E and the B string. When you play it, you get an F and a C. And that's good because F major is an FAC. When we drop down this, we're absolutely taking the top half of that E major, which is our G sharp, and then our E note. And when we move that up, we get our A, and then we're absolutely hitting that F right there. So just the top half of this is an F. We attack it at the D string. And if you want to, you can put your finger on the C and pinky here on the F, and let the fat of that third finger, the ring finger, touch the E string so it's not coming true. If you have it within you, wrap that around. Another great way to play a bar chord. These don't necessarily always have to be a full bar chord, but what we're doing when we're playing chords, like let's say like the D minor. D major, move these to get a F note, to get a note, and then to get a D. When we play this, and we play it in a secondary fingering, it's hard, but then we scoot it up and play just the top half or the full bar. Either way, you've given yourself the opportunity to start playing chords that you already know, which are kind of hard. C major, replacing fingers and then playing them with a secondary finger only allows you to move it anywhere on the fretboard, put down a bar chord, and start working on these. The one thing you're gonna wanna start doing is if you're not getting all the notes to come out, you wanna start shifting around where this bar chord is. 9 times out of 10, it's where your thumb is on the back of the neck, because your thumb's like up to the side or creeping over the top or ducked back behind. It should be exactly bloop, straight up and down, just peeking over the top right in the back. When you watch professional guitar players or people like myself, we don't even use our thumb. It's just a standard position thing that kind of is behind. If you notice, you don't necessarily need to be able to use the thumb. Every once in a while we'll jump in. Here's that F I was talking about. And then bar chords, when we work them up, it doesn't really even need to be there to be playing this bar chord. The whole idea is you pull it towards yourself. But there's different techniques for different instruments. Classical guitars, classical dreadnought styles, classicals with cutaways, electric classicals, electric acoustics, electrics. So you're gonna need to make it yours. But as far as the B-A-R-R-E, the best way that I found to learn how to do bar chords, play simplified chords. Like here's an A minor, make it maybe into an A minor 7, do this over a couple hundred times and then move it up. And really work at moving this bar chord around. So where your thumb is one of the issues. The other one is your elbow's dug into your crotch or your belly button. That means that your head's probably looking over the top of this, so the angle at which your arm is, it's making it impossible for your thumb to be up and down. So take a deep breath, sit up, and rather than look at this way, why not look at your guitar in a mirror or your phone or whatever? That's a great way to stop doing this. One, it gives you more oxygen to your computer, and it allows you to get that elbow out of your belly button, and keeping that thumb up there is super important. When playing a partial bar, a full bar, or a half bar, it's always important to move that around and get your perfect alignment. It's going to be different on each instrument, but you will find a mechanism that your brain will write a synapse, and then you will just be able to play bar chords. And here's the idea. Anything you do in life that you practice for more than 5 minutes a day and give it attention and think about it, you will be able to do it. There are only so many things in this world that we are not able to do. Practice the practice of practicing. Bar chords are hard, but when you do them every day for 5 minutes, first thing in the morning and last thing you do before you go to bed, I guarantee within 1 month, you're gonna be playing bar chords. I hope this helped. Aloha!